Hey, 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 it's your girl, Miss Trina with Chat with Trina, and today is Talk About It Tuesday. And first, I want to say thank you for making the choice to click in today. I am talking with my good friend Kiki G, Keith Glacier of I Just Do Sound and of the Zydeco community. Let's get into it. Thank you, Kiki, for saying yes. He didn't even think twice about it. He said yes right away, right?
Why would I say
The
that?
fun thing about this is Kiki says nothing is off limits. I don't believe that, but we gonna see.
Secrets.
Yes, you do have secrets.
I don't have no secrets that you know to ask about.
Whatever. You buried them all. You buried the bones.
They all buried. Burn them up.
Burn them up.
Hole.
Okay. So, what is your government name?
Keith Glacier.
Keith. What, you got a middle name?
I do, but it's Keith Glacier.
So I thought you said nothing's off limits.
It's not
I
off
can
limits.
ask, but you just
ask.
don't have to answer.
You can ask
Okay,
all
I
you
get it.
want. Everybody
I
don't
know
need to
your middle
all
name,
that.
don't I?
You
I
do.
knew it. Okay. All right.
It's a few people that actually know me.
Okay. So where you from?
San Francisco, California.
All right. So how long was you there?
Most of my life. I
Okay.
was born and practically raised there, but I mean, I've been here a while too.
Okay. So where did you, when you went to high school though, where were you at?
I went to high school here.
What's the high school?
Jesse H. Jones.
Jesse H. Jones. But you didn't go to middle school here. You wasn't here by then.
I was in the middle school.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it was junior high then. So
Okay. What made y'all move here? Your daddy had.
My dad. And we didn't have a choice.
He had relatives here or something like that.
Well, my dad was, he was born here. His mom and stuff, they were from Houston. Well, not from Houston, but from Texas.
Okay.
So when she left her husband, she moved to California, trying to get away from all of it.
That's how y'all got to California.
So
That's how your dad got to California.
That's how he got to California. Then, like, say, after a while, he decided he wanted to come back.
Okay.
We wasn't old enough to have no choice. So.
Okay. Brothers, sisters?
Yep, I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters.
Okay. And two brothers are here.
Yes, 2 of them are here. The other one's in California. My sisters are in California.
Because you're the youngest of everybody.
No, I have a younger sister.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, one of my older sisters, she's the youngest.
Even though you said nothing is off topic, I want to be respectful and ask you, are you open to talking about the tragedy that happened when you were little?
Sure, I mean...
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't. What
Oh,
tragedy are you talking about?
Your mom.
Oh, I mean, there's really much I can really say about that. I was so small.
Right.
So it's not a whole lot.
But
I
she
could
passed
say.
tragically.
Yeah, she was passed tragically. Was hit by a car.
Yeah.
On a freeway entrance. It's like, I was there, but I was asleep.
And you were a baby.
I was a baby.
Like 2, right?
I might have been younger than that. I was carrying age. Like, however old I was, I was carrying age.
Do you remember her?
I have vague memories of her, but not like, I mean, I don't have
really
memories because we didn't have a lot of time, but yeah, so. And the funny thing about it is everybody was wondering, like when it happened, where was I? Because from what I remember, what I was told, everywhere she was, I was.
Yeah.
Like, she always had me in her hand all the time, so. Just so happened that the reason why she didn't have me in her hand that day because I was asleep in the car. So when the car broke, she got out to try to get help. Because I was asleep, she didn't have me.
Gotcha.
Otherwise.
And thank God she didn't have you.
Well, yeah.
Or you wouldn't be here talking today.
Wouldn't be here right now.
What did you want to be when you grew up? I don't know.
I didn't really have a set job that I was playing, but I pretty much wanted to do whatever it was my dad did. He was a truck driver. I wanted to do that. I mean, he did arts and crafts. He built, he did everything. So I wanted to do some of everything. So I didn't really have a set, occupation in mind.
What you want to do.
It's just.
But I do remember hearing you say that everything that he did, like you.
Everything.
That's why you were able to do so much stuff.
Yeah.
Fix cars, stuff
everything
like that.
he did, I learned.
Okay. Because you took auto mechanics or wood shop.
I took mechanics, I took wood shop, I took metal shop. I learned how to weld. I learned how to build stuff.
But that was nothing that you just really wanted to do as a career,
It wasn't just, it wasn't career oriented. It was just like when I was growing up, I was a daddy's boy. So wherever he was, whatever he did, I was there. So it made it easier for me to know stuff that he was doing so I could be of help.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I was just there in the way.
Yeah.
Being nosy.
Like I would be when you fixing a car.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was there. I learned everything. Pretty much everything he knew how to do. I do electrical stuff. all of it. Now, if you ask me, I don't really do it, but it's
Right.
not because I don't know how.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, it was never.
So you've done an alternator and all that stuff in your
I've
car.
done everything. I mean, I
Hell, you put in somebody's damn air conditioner. What was that you were doing in somebody's ceiling? Oh, hot water heater. You were doing something in somebody's attic or something like that. How about your kids? How many girls? You got 2 girls.
2 girls.
What's their
2
names?
women now.
2 women, I know.
Keyshawn and Tristan.
Keyshawn and Tristan. Do people ever think, because they used to see Keyshawn a lot, but they didn't see Tristan as much. Do people think that that's somebody you dating when she come out? Do anybody ever ask you that?
It has been. People have asked other than the fact that Keyshawn looked so much like
that
me,
too.
people used to think that.
Oh,
when
really?
she came, but first they would look, but then like, nah.
Yeah.
That gotta be your daughter or what?
Somebody related
But
to you.
Tristan, she kind of favored me, but not that much. They see us together, and that's the first thing they think.
Is that your girlfriend? Well, your friend. And you got, how many grandkids you have now? 1?
Ooh, I got 6.
6 now.
Yeah, Tristan had 1, Keyshawn has 5.
Okay, so 6. You got a lot of people take care of you.
Wait, she might have 6. She just had another baby. I think
6.
it is 6.
Okay.
She got
And
6, so Tristan got 1. So that
how did you find Zydeco? How did Zydeco come into your world?
Accidentally.
What was you doing?
I was a good friend of mine, like my cousin. We used to hang out. Like when we used to go out, he was one of the persons I used to go out with all the time. So we did regular clubs and all of that, and then but he's a country boy. So he was like, man, we got to try something else. I'm going to just come and go to this place. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's a country club. So, yeah, way back in the day.
What was your look like when he said that?
I was like, okay. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah.
So we went, and I was on the sideline then. I've always been into, like dancing because, that was my way of meeting people. I didn't really do a lot of talking.
Yeah.
I'm not I don't approach it like that. So we go, and I'm sitting back watching, and it was interesting the way they were dancing. It was like the style was interesting. Long story short, I ended up getting into that. And
did you watch? You learned by watching?
Oh yeah, I learned by watching. I just watched. Like every time we go on Sundays. I just go and watch. And like a couple of Sundays I went, I learned it. And a friend of his, was a female, was like, "You should dance now." I'm like, I don't really know how. She's like, "Come on, I'm gonna show you." So.
Well, I'll tell you that too. That's the difference in country western than any other dances that I've been involved in. Country western people will pull you out there on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
They don't care what level you on. They just gonna dance. Because I go to Whiskey River, I can dance all night.
Yeah, that's because that's what they're there for. It's like
to dance
they don't
and have
go
fun.
to listen to no music. They don't really go to get drunk. They go to dance.
To dance.
So if you're there and you look like you're interested, they're gonna grab you. Or if it's just somebody that see you and you look interested.
Yeah.
So that's what I learned. I learned how to do that, and like in the midst of learning that, I met people, and a good friend of mine named Wayne. He got out there, and eventually, like I normally try to do, I end up being one of the best male country dancers.
Oh, so country western dancing was first.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was first. I went to that first, and then when I met him, he was one of the best. So I pride myself. I surpassed him.
Okay.
So when I was there, I was the person everybody would come to get dancing. He was like, "Oh, that's all right. I don't really do country, but you can't mess with me on that Zydeco."
Oh,
so
he should
it
have said
was a
that.
challenge. Yeah, he shouldn't have said that.
He
It was a challenge. So I was like, "Oh, really?" Like, yeah, you can't mess with me on that. 'Cause I'm from Louisiana and this, that. I'm like, okay. So then I had to start watching, see what it was. Ended up in a dance contest against him and won. So
What? Okay.
yeah, and that was just
so. But when you went to the country western, you had to go somewhere else to do Zydeco.
No, in the
mixed
country
it up?
west club they play. It wasn't like for a band like Zydeco.
Oh,
it's just
okay.
a DJ.
Oh, okay.
So country western and Zydeco kind of went hand in hand. Like
Gotcha.
DJs that play country music, they play Zydeco.
Zydeco. Oh, okay.
So they play a few country songs and they throw in a couple of Zydeco. Even if it was a country western club, you got more country, but you still got the Zydeco because they kind of went hand in hand. Okay. And so after doing that and after actually learning, I met, like I said, meeting people. And it was a chick that she was going to hear live bands. I had never been heard a live Zydeco band.
Oh.
So she asked me about going to that. And I was like, yeah, that sounds fun. So I went to that. And of course, that burrito. That's who it was.
That's who you saw. Is that your very first band to see?
That was the very first live band that I saw.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
What was the scene, the Zydeco and country western scene like back then?
It was very different. Like because the thing about it was then it was a dance. Every time you went, you were going to a dance. You weren't going to a show. You were going to a dance.
Gotcha.
So everybody that was there were there to dance. The people that weren't dancing were looking, trying to learn so they could dance. So it was very different. But I mean, of course, it wasn't really like, there wasn't no live bands. Wasn't a lot of live bands, you know. It wasn't no, well, Paul hadn't even started. So like, and because like we didn't really know the Louisiana bands. We didn't know Chris Audubon. We didn't know Bo Job and Keith From. We didn't know none of those. Like, we hear the music was playing, but we didn't like personally know them. Yeah. So it wasn't really a big thing. So going to see Step was the thing. Everybody went to see Step. And like eventually, like when the church halls started booking, and we were going to the church halls and seeing that and doing this, you know, going. So, you know, everybody else was like, well, we gonna go to Louisiana. That's when they started to have festivals in Louisiana. So like the people from Houston, we didn't really know, so we didn't go. But then the more you listen to it, like of course Step was from Louisiana, so he knew about it. So if he advertised where he gonna be in Louisiana, where everybody was like, well, what's in Louisiana? You know, we wouldn't care about no live bands. But then, you know, it's like word of mouth. A few people decide, well, I'm gonna go see what it's about. They go, come back and share their experience. So now everybody want to go see.
Gotcha.
So now we back and forth to Louisiana, Plaisance Festival, you know, Crawfish Festival. We all doing all of that. So now, from Texas, you were like, well, golly, we got to travel all the way down here to see y'all. Y'all should come you know, where we at. So then, you know, I don't know who was the first, but I mean, the band started venturing out. They started coming to Houston, we started having, you know, our Zydeco's at the dance halls, at the Catholic churches, having bazaars and all that. So
and that's when it was more popular at the churches. It wasn't really at clubs
more popular
and stuff.
at the church. The clubs hadn't really got into trail rides, hadn't got into it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, okay. I didn't even know nothing about trail rides back then. Like, I'm not saying that they didn't have them.
Right. You just wasn't into it.
I'm not really I'm
you
not
don't like trail riding anyway.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm from the city, so I'm not. You know, I'm big on horses and all.
When did you start playing the drums, and why? You say seeing Steps band, right?
Well, like I said, going to see live bands and stuff. I just was fascinated by the drums. You know, the accordion. That was all the main, but I was fascinated by the drums. So I would always try to meet the drummers.
Okay.
And like I said, Paul was a drummer. That's how I met him. He was a drummer for Step Burrito. Okay. And then, you know, he left and started his little band. You know, me and him had already met, like, and we were kind of cool. So when he started his band, he was like, man, ain't nobody gonna come. I'm like, man, I'll go. So we would go, you know, and like I said, I was always fascinated about a drummer. So I decided, well, I want to learn how to play drums. So again, I bugged my daddy. He
to get you some
give me the money. He bought me a set. I used to practice in the house.
What? Did you get on his? Did he ever tell you to stop?
Well, he was always going to work.
Oh, okay.
Like, I wouldn't only practice.
Like,
he was at work. Like, it was just me and him there. So he was gone. I'd be on there. I know the neighbors probably was having a bad time. But nobody never really said nothing. And so, you know, I was always playing. Then once I learned, like, I used to listen to Bo Jack. I had never seen him. Listen to Skeeter. I listened to Keith Frank. Brad was playing. You know, I listened to all of those bands on CD. And I played along with the CD. That's how I learned how to play.
Kind of like people play with they learn to do
tracks. Yeah.
The tracks, or they learn that's how they play the keyboard.
Yeah.
What's the first band you played with?
The first band I played with was J. Paul.
J. Paul Jr. The Zydeco Degrees.
Yeah, he was the first one that initially gave me a chance. I used to go to the shows all the time. Man, let me play them drums. Man, let me play them drums. And he was like, you can't do that.
You like some of the other little worse people you see now saying, let me play.
I was one of those. I mean, I wasn't that bad, but I used to always say. And then one day I was there, and I don't know, I don't know what was going on. His drummer his mind was somewhere else or something, and he just asked me if I wanted to play a song. I was like, yeah, come on. So I got up there and well, what you know? I was like, I don't know, just whatever you play. I mean, you know, I listening to y'all, I hear everything you play, just whatever. So he started the song, came right in. The whole band looking at me like, okay. And then they think, well, he actually can play a little bit. So, you know, he picked another song that he thought was a little more difficult. I was right there, same time, everything. We all had a good laugh with Chris, Paul, and like when you never see them like fussing at nobody.
Right. And that's good.
Now, what happens, when they get their meetings or whatever they do might be different, but on the show, and I like that.
That's
professionalism.
professional, yeah.
And that professionalism, and I've seen it in all of them. Like I said, I've never worked with Nate. I worked for Nate a couple of times, but not inside to where I could see, how his flow. But I work with Paula and I work with Chris, and they always handled it in a different way, not on stage. So it's off stage. That's why people be saying, man, Chris, they say he arrogant. I don't see it.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has a point to where they might, change their personality, but
then also this is a business, and I've said this before. That is a business, and I've seen. I think I've told you, like, I like to see Chris when he taking care of business. You come up in here late, you ain't coming on my stage late. I used to tell you I used to like that because that's true. That makes you look. That makes the whole band look bad when you come in showing late. You don't need to come up here now.
Yeah, and like I said, you have to respect him for that because he handled his business like business. I mean,
I agree.
I've been in other bands where people just walk up anytime and get
we
in
was
and play.
Right, exactly. Yes, we was at the event. You was playing with Paul then, and we was at a show when somebody did that to Chris and came late.
Yeah.
They was late.
It was late.
They was like they was finna go on the stage.
He was just
Where you going?
Yeah, I remember that. That was
the one I said.
We thought that was funny, but
we thought that was funny.
When you think of it, I mean, that he was taking care of business.
He was taking care of business.
You can't just. I mean, if you have a regular job, you can't just go there anytime you get ready and start working.
Yeah.
So a lot of people say when we on stage and we performing and we look like we having fun, and people think, man, that's just so much fun, but at the end of the day, it's still a job.
It's a job.
You have to treat it. If you're a part of that organization, if you're part of that Zydeco family, if you're part of that band family, you have to treat it as such. Because at the end of the show, you're gonna have your hand out to get your money. And like I say, anything you get paid for is a job, no matter what you're doing. If you're paid to do it, it's a job.
So what do you think about? Because I know you got flack for something that has to do with this. But what do you think? And we've had conversations about it. That if a band is late, how do you feel about them being docked or making some kind of arrangement to add more to the show, whatever? What do you feel about a band showing up late, especially when there's a contract and you still want your same amount of money?
I wouldn't have a problem with it if you dock the person for being late. I mean, I booked shows, and when I was doing Fuel Lounge and when I was booking the shows for them, and it's about being on time. If you can't get there and you call and say, hey, we're gonna be a little late, but I'll make it up to you. That's cool. Yeah. As long as you understand whatever time you're contracted to play, to perform, you should give the person who's paying you that time.
Right.
Like if you get to a situation to where you can't go over because the club is closed, well then if you're the reason that it was late, then that's on you. You should be willing to say, well, I understand I was such and such late, keep 100 or keep 200 or whatever. And if they come to you and say, man, you was late and we couldn't make up the time, so I'm gonna dock you. I don't think there should be a problem with that.
I think that the band should offer that first, like what you said. I think the band should offer that, hey,
I know we was late.
Or if I don't want to make it up, I really want to leave at a certain time.
Yeah, I mean, if you get to the point to where, hey, I gotta go, then you shouldn't have a problem with them saying, okay, well, you shorted me this amount of time, I've got to short you this kind of money. It shouldn't be an issue. And my thing is, if it was me, that's what I mean. That's what people used to tell me all the time when I started learning how to play accordion. You should get you a band. Nah, I couldn't have a band. I couldn't have a band because I
couldn't have a band. Your attitude
my attitude towards that would change. I could never keep no band members
because he would have no band. None.
Yeah, because I mean, if we had to start late because my drummer was late, then guess what? When they dock me, you got to get docked too.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because it wasn't my fault. You was late. So
but
if
you
they dock me,
you wouldn't even be able to handle somebody being late.
I don't.
You done almost left me several times.
Me and Lake don't really get.
Y'all don't get along, which is good. Yeah. Which is good. I mean,
I try to be.
That's the one thing, and I'm probably skipping ahead a little bit, but let me just say this: that the one thing, like I totally admire you about is that your work ethic. You on time. And you are willing to learn anything.
Oh yeah.
When somebody says they need something done, you're gonna do it. If somebody you're gonna do it. You crazy. And you be mean sometimes.
I ain't mean.
You be mean sometimes, but you mean well. And you have the best work ethic of anyone that I can think of. You know what I mean? And where do you get that from?
I get that from my dad. Like, you know, my dad, period. Like I said, everything, when he done stuff, I wanted to do stuff. He was a stickler, he done on time. Stuff has to be done at a certain time sometimes. Sometimes it has to be, I mean, you know, there's always a leeway, but sometimes things just have to be done. I don't like being late. I mean, I grew up to where, like, you know, we play outside, kids and stuff, and dinner was at a certain time. And, like, it wasn't every night, because my dad he worked like he was a truck driver, so he was gone. But if he was there, dinner started at a certain time. If you wasn't there, you don't eat. Yeah, you don't eat.
That's why he docking people.
Yeah, you don't eat. Yeah, you don't come. Yeah, you know when James is in the house. If dinner is at 6, you better be there at 6, because if you don't, he was like Chris. Don't come to this table.
Right.
You know, you gotta wait.
Right.
And like, not saying you wouldn't. Well, put it this way, you wouldn't eat then.
Right.
You probably get some food later. You know, he would make you suffer.
You saying probably when he starved you?
He would make you suffer. He'd make you suffer, and then later on he'll be like, "Well, go on in there and get you something to eat." You know,
but that was the consequence for being late. And because if there's no consequence for not showing up, being late,
people are gonna continue.
They're gonna continue to do it. Yeah, I actually spoke on a live the other day about people for my show this month. It's been horrible. Like, people don't show up and they just don't say anything. And you know, I work hard on these damn questions. But so
that's why I try my best to be on time. I'll be early, baby. Why you so early? Because I'd rather be early than to be late. Because my thing is, if you're on time, you're late. If you're early, you're on time. I'm going to be there. Should I get there before the band leaders? And they sometimes was bringing... Matter of fact, that's how I ended up, when I was working with Paul, that's how I ended up bringing the trailer to everywhere. Because Paul always late. Junior, sorry, but hey, look, that dude...
I'm always late too, so it's okay.
That dude's always late. Yeah. And we just got to the point to where it was like, look, I'll go pick up the trailer. Right. And then it started working out because, I mean, I understand, you know, he had other things to be doing, you know. When I was working, that was my only job. For a while, that was my job. So I had the time to get up and get there early. But then, I mean, that was just me anyway. Even if I had another job, if we had a gig, I was going to make sure that I got off in time to go and do that. I mean, he had kids that he was tending to. You know, I mean, whatever he was, I don't know what he was doing, but a lot of times he was late. He would call me, tell me, come pick me up. No.
Because I'm going to be on time.
That's like I said, that was part of the reason why I ended up just being able to get the trailer. You know, he just give me the keys. Well, I just get there. You know, you go ahead and do it. And it got to the point to where he was able to just come to the gig. Come to the gig, and that's how I ended up doing.
So how did you end up doing sound?
Because I guess some people would look at it as a pest, but I was always inquisitive. Like, when Ken would be doing stuff, I'm always wanting to know stuff. So, you know, he walk out there and he listening. You know, he listening to the sound. So I would go out there and try to see. And then I would ask, well, what are you listening for? And he would tell me, well, he would tell me, well, I'm listening for such and such. I'm trying to get the level on this. And I was like, well, how do you tell? And he taught me a little secret that I won't expose right now, but he taught me a little secret about how he was doing it. So I would just always ask a lot of questions, and then I would notice he was coming out here and he would listen, and he would go back and he come back, and then you come back, and then he got to the point where he said, "You hear the difference?" I was like, "Yeah." So then once, like, watching him going back and forth to the board, at the time I didn't know, but he was going back and forth to the board and come back, and then say, "You hear the difference." So now that I can hear what he was listening for, I wanted to know what he did to make it different. So now when he going to the board, I'm going to the board, and I'm looking, and I'm and I didn't really know about it. So then after I asked the question, well, what did that do? What did that do? Well, this is this and that. So he said, you know what, I'm just gonna teach you. I was like, okay, cool. So because he learned from somebody, so he was teaching me. And like I said, he didn't give me all his little tricks either, but he was showing me what this was and what that was. So he taught me enough to start. And then he was like, sometimes he would tell me to do stuff. Go out there and see. You know, and he would see if I could, you know, if I was learning anything. And then he got to the point to where he noticed I was really actually learning. I wasn't just asking a bunch of random questions and not remembering it. So then he was like, well, man, you know, are you gonna be rolling with us? And I was like, well, I mean, Paul want me to roll, so you know, that's how I end up being the driver, and then helping setting up, and then now helping do sound. So Kim was like, man, I've been doing this for 10, 11 years. I ain't had no vacation. I'm gonna want to take a vacation, so you know, I'm gonna teach you how to do everything, so I can go on vacation and you can, you know, you can stand there for me. I'm like, okay, cool. So he started teaching me how to hook it up, you know, and then like my thing was, it's one thing to tell me how to hook something up, but it's another thing to tell me why it goes here. Yeah. That's the part that I needed to know. And he was never really time to say, well, this is because of this. So I just started researching it. So I just started looking and out, like I started taking pictures of stuff where it was going, and then I would Google it and see what input, output, what that you know, so the difference. So I started picking it up like that. But Ken is really one that initially started teaching me. Yeah. And then
and so we do give a shout out to Ken.
Oh yeah, Ken.
Contrary to what people be saying, we give a shout out to Ken. He did a great job.
Oh yeah, he
taught him stuff.
He did. He can take credit. I give him credit for that. He taught me. He was my beginning teacher.
And you know what's funny about that too? He wasn't uncomfortable doing that. Some people don't understand that. If you teach people stuff, you can take a vacation. Like you be trying to hold on to all the information, and you can't ever be off of nothing. So
yeah. So and then he did go on vacation. He got married or whatever, and they took a little time. But then he ended up getting hurt. Right over there at Clayton's. He got hurt stepping off that back step and tore his Achilles.
Oh Lord!
So then it was like I was just there, and it was just, and he was gonna be out for weeks. So I was just there. So then that's when I really started learning about the hookup.
Because you had no
because
choice.
He couldn't do it. He literally couldn't. He came and ran the sound, but I had to unload and hook up and make sure everything was connected. And you know, that's how. The more you do it, the better you get at it. The more you learn. And then, like I say, it got to the point to where he decided he didn't want to do it no more. So one day he just said, man, forget it. I've been doing this 12 years. I don't want to do this no more. And I was like, no. He was like, you want my job? I was like, no, I don't. Like, no, I don't. He was like, well, you got it because I'm gone. And he left. So I was just there. And like I say, from there, I just had to start learning. Like every show, I was learning something different, learning how to do stuff better. So then I started asking questions to everyone.
I'm going to just say, I wrote it because I wasn't going to remember how to say it. So what some people don't know, Kiki, I witnessed it myself with my own eyes, my own ears, that Kiki fell in love with doing sound. And he was determined to learn it and to do well at it. Because whatever he does like to do it well. I do know that about him. But I watched as you studied the YouTube videos, you called asking people questions, you had stuff all over places doing things. When you got that, what was that new thing y'all got? That new board? You like was on that thing, like you didn't have time to be bothered about me being a pest. Because you was on it, you asked questions, and then you fiddle around with iPads, equipment for hours. And even during the day you was doing that. So I would really feel bad sometimes when I would go places and I would hear people make these comments and be rude and, oh, he can't do sound. And they called you the feedback something, whatever they said. But I would feel so bad because I'm watching how hard you were working to learn to do this. And that made me feel bad. But you learned it. And so that's what I admire. The other thing I admire about you is that you didn't let it bother you. You did not let it deter you. You kept going. So how do you feel now? Like how did you feel then, and then how do you feel now?
Well, at first it was frustrating because, like, you know, you hear so many things. Like, it wasn't. I mean, I can take criticism, but my thing was this:
they were rude.
They were rude.
It
was people that was rude, but my thing is this. How can somebody who doesn't know tell you something? Like I got people in the crowd that's coming out telling me, well, you can't do it. I can't hear this. I can't hear this. You can't hear that. Well, you need to do this. You need to do that. But then you look at the person that's telling you, and it's not nobody even affiliated with a band or nothing. They just singing. And then I come to find out what used to frustrate me, like right now, I don't have that problem because I've grown and I've learned more and I don't have that problem. But back then, it was the thing that killed me the most was people trying to tell me something at the same time I'm trying to do something else. Like when I'm standing out here, if I'm listening, if I'm constantly walking back and forth, that means I'm not done. I'm working and I'm trying to fix whatever it is I'm trying to fix, but I can only do one thing at a time. You know, the problem with that is like back then, like it was always just like I say, I used to get set up. Be set up and I'd be ready. I'm there early, but the band didn't always get there early, so we didn't really do sound checks then.
Right.
So I'm sound checking during that first 3 or 4 songs. So
you also sound checked before they got there with
I
music.
sound checked with my music just to make sure everything was working, make sure everything was going, all of the monitors working, all of the speakers, you know, the highs wasn't blowed out, the drum, everything was working. That's the only thing I can check with a disc because you can't check live sound from that.
Right.
So I'm just getting to make sure everything was living. So when they get there, you know, you take the little time to check 1 2 1 2, but that don't really do nothing because when you check 1 2, that's not the same as you singing. You know, and then like I say, if I'm standing up there when I do that, I check each one of their mics, then I can hear. So I'm fine. But everybody don't hear the same.
Right.
So when they get up there, what I thought was loud enough, they think it's not loud enough. So now you got to, when you do that, you got to turn it up. And then like I say, when you check 1 2, that's not the same as when you singing.
Actually playing.
So when you check me, oh yeah, that's good. So now when you start playing, and I'm trying to go out here and do sound, you know, Paul had it bad. All the time. So, you know, and like, so you got to go see what he's talking about. So, you know, his monitor, you can't hear the monitor. Turn the monitor this way, or turn it this way, turn it that way. And, you know, so it was hard because, like I say, at the time, I was still learning.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the part that throws me off. Like, people knew that you were learning.
Yeah, but people don't see that.
They don't see that.
They don't see that.
Right,
Only thing they know is, like, if you're a true Paul fan and you can't hear Paul vocals and he got somebody doing the sound, that's all you care about. I can't hear Paul. You know, I can't hear John. I don't hear the bass or whatever. I don't hear the person that knows about music per se, or you're not a person that know how sound actually work. You know, you don't know that. But like I say, at that time, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
So I can't really help you who you don't know if I don't really know.
Yeah.
So I'm still learning at the time. So after a while, and then like I said, not only that, but when people were coming to me and when they started realizing I wasn't paying no attention, you know, they just talking. I just say then they he got bad attitude. So guess what they do? They know Paul. So they run go tell Paul. He don't listen. I try to tell him he can't. You don't listen. So then he don't call me. Well, you got to turn this up. I'm like, you know, turn what up? Well, they say. It was always they say.
You can't make they. Me and my daughter just talking about they. You can't make they accountable because
they say they couldn't hear. And I used to say, well, who is they? Who is they? You know, who is they? Me and Paul were like, good dude. You know, I love Paul.
I know y'all have a
we got
y'all have a love-hate relationship.
And we was good. But if you know, like we used to go at it back and forth because my thing was this. Everybody in the audience don't know what they're talking about. So you can't just take somebody that come and said that they couldn't do this. You can't just take that. You got to take that at face value. Because the thing about it is, at the end of the day, you pay me to do your sound. Let me do it. When you see me stop walking back and forth, like at the time there's a walk back and forth. If I stop going back and forth, that means I'm shadowing with J. Paul first. I played with Noonie and the Zydeco Floaters for a long time. I played with Fred Russ. I even played with a band that y'all probably don't know named Creole Junction for a couple of weeks.
What happened? How you just play a couple of weeks?
Well, I mean, because they didn't really need a permanent drummer. They was coming back and forth to Houston. They was from Louisiana, and their drummer wouldn't travel. He couldn't travel all the time. So I played with them for a couple of weeks. I played behind Keon. You know, I played. Who else? I played with a lot of people. I played with a lot of people. You know, but I mean, I actually worked for Paul, I worked for Noonie, and I actually worked for Chris, and I actually worked for Creole Junction. Okay. Fred Russ, I worked for Fred. I did a CD with Fred Russ, so I actually worked for him too. Like everybody else was pretty much just filling in. But like, because when I started with Fred Russ, it was really just a fill in because the drummer he had needed some help. So I went, you know, I was like, okay, well, I'll come over there, you know, help him learn some stuff. And, like, he'd come to the practices and he wouldn't show up sometimes. Right. So I ended up, like, he was like, well, man, just come. So I ended up playing with Fred for a while. I think, like, about 2 years, I think I played with Fred. That was fun. I enjoyed that, too. Me and Fred and the band, we used to have fun because, like, him and his rubber player, man, they was, like, they was fun people. Okay, yeah. like they always you could watch them up there and they was just having fun. So you was sitting behind your band and he over there having fun. You can't do nothing but have fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
and
that
that's what again. That's what makes the energy of the band too. When everybody trying to in the doing their thing. What's bad though about learning about sound? I think I told you that. Now when I go somewhere, it's just a mess. I went to Comedy Lounge last week and it was a band playing, and I was like, what are they doing? The sound is messed up. So that's the only issue because I remember things. I'll be like, you know what? Then I said, well, why they feedback? They just started. Why they just feedback? But so that's the only bad thing. Do you have that too when you go to an event?
Every time I'm somewhere, even if I don't, somebody asks me. Like if they know me, they be there.
What about the sound?
People go, hey, you should go fix it. I'm like, I'm not at work. I don't work for them.
And I don't work for free. I just do sound. I just do sound.
I don't be at work. And like I said, I learned. Dealing with power, I learned a lot, but I had to because like Paul, he used to always say, well, when I used to do sound, it was this and was that and it was that, and maybe it was. I don't know, but like I say, as we progressed, because back then, I mean, you didn't see no bands with all of these speakers that they have nowadays. Yeah. You didn't see it wasn't everybody didn't have a monitor. It was one monitor mix and everybody listened through the same thing. So doing sound back then probably was different. I didn't get when I started with Paul, like, he was in the midst of getting better equipment. So it was more stuff to deal with. So with him getting more stuff, it kind of eased the job because you go from having one monitor mix, which means that everything is going through one monitor, and you have to hear from everybody. So then when you change that, like when he had the monitors, he just didn't have the equipment. So when you started buying amps and EQs and all of that, and I learned, like I say, in the process of me learning, looking at YouTube, and they would always say you need the different monitor mix and this and that. So I didn't tell Paul. It's just like we collaborated in what he was going. He was like, "What you think I should get?" I was like, "Well, you should get this." And he always wanted more and more and more and more. I was like, "Well, you don't really need that much, but I mean, it's his money, so if he wanted to buy it, he bought it." So we ended up. I got it to where I could get his own monitor mix, get John his own monitor mix, and get a drummer their own monitor mix. Those are the three key people that need their own mix. Gotcha. Because if you put it like with the bass, some of them have it, but they don't necessarily need the monitor because. But if you got two up here and you got one back there, and then you have another one that's just pretty much like for everybody, anybody surrounded like the bass player, you can hear that. You can still hear that, so you should be fine. I mean, it would be good for everybody to have their own mix, but sometimes it just doesn't permit for that. Yeah. So, like when you get keyboard players now, you can't. It's hard.
They got 65 people in the band.
It's hard to run a keyboard player do everybody mix because they just so loud. So the keyboard player gotta have his own mix because they just so loud. It seemed like to me they'd be the loudest.
And all bands are different too. Because some bands I know, for me, that. I want to hear everything evenly. Like I want to hear the man. I want to hear the band leader sing, but I want to also be able to hear that. I want to hear every piece of it. My dad used to have his earphones back in the day when they had good earphones, and he had the earphones, and he used to like to hear all the different instruments in his speaker, and you could. So that's when I go to hear a band, I want to hear everything. Yeah. But some people have the music so loud, all you hear is the music. Yeah, and
that's about the mixing. That's why like a lot of times now, like more bands now are they actually have a sound person because you can set sound like in an empty club and you can stand out here and you can hear everything and everything will be clear and you'll be ready. But once you start and people start coming in, once the club or the spot starts getting filled, it changes the whole mix. Yeah. Because like a lot of people, the more me and Paul used to speak, then you got to turn the kick up because you got to use more subs so you can get the boom boom. Because when people standing in front of, and I had to learn the more people come that stands in front of your speakers,
that takes away the sound.
No, the louder the sound.
Really?
Yes.
Oh wow!
The subs actually it's deeper. It gets louder. Like it changed the whole tone of it. So if you got it too loud, when they start coming in, and you start, because like the top end carries,
Right.
travels, because it's usually higher than everybody.
Okay.
So that travels. So when like with the subs, it's almost like, it's just like, if you got a car, like you see people with these cars and they driving by, oh, you boom, 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 boom. That's the low end. But then you get inside of it and some of that goes away, but you hear all of the other stuff. That's because when you take from low end and confine it in a box, it gets loud.
You feeling pretty confident about your skills with sound now, though? Pretty confident?
I'm pretty confident, but I'm still
learning. Yeah.
Because like I said, the thing, like when I was with Power, I did everything. I did everything. Like when I say everything, I mean I did everything except play the instruments. I loaded the equipment, I brought it there, I set it up, I ran the sound, I did everything. And like now with Chris, like when I got with him, it's just funny thing is when I got with him, he changed his mixer board. So when he got it, we both, the day he put it out the package, we both was there. Like we learned it. I mean, of course he could take it home and get better equipment, but we was learning it. And every time we go something, like we was learning something. Oh, this do this, or this do that, do that. So I'm still learning. And like I say, he get to take it home and he can play with it at home. If I had one, I could, like I had when I got my touch mix, I knew everything about that because I took it home. So he learned more. So when he learned stuff, he's showing me, like we get to the gigs and I'll be like, well, I don't know how you do. So he'll teach me, So
you're okay with telling people though too when you don't know something. So that's the only way you can learn.
That's the only way you're gonna learn. I ain't just gonna be like, well, I know, because you don't know.
How do you determine your prices when you do sound?
You mean like if I set up?
If somebody call you and say, hey, I need you to do the sound for this event.
If somebody call me, I first want to know where's the event and when it is. Where it's at and when it is. So I got to know how far I got to go. And then I need to know like Friday, Saturday, if it's Tuesday or whatever. So it starts there. Secondly, I need to know how big a venue is. Like how much stuff am I going to need?
Gotcha.
And the more stuff you need, of course, the price is going to go up. Because it's more stuff.
And how many bands are playing? Does that matter?
Sometimes it do, sometimes it don't. Like if somebody call me and say, hey, I want you to do sound, me and another band is playing, but then I look at the time limit. Like if just say Chris is playing somewhere, but he say, hey, I got Keon gonna open for me. Can you come do sound for me? Then I'm not. To add Keon on the show, my price is not gonna change that much because the sound is really for Chris. But if somebody calls me and say, "Hey, I'm having an event, I got 4 or 5
like
bands."
A festival.
I got 4 or 5 bands. Well, see, I'm not working for either one of the bands, so I'm working for myself. So anything that happens to my equipment, I'm responsible for it. So if you got several different bands, and I got to think, well, how long is the event? You talking about all day, or you talking about 2 hours? All of that comes into play.
Gotcha.
If you talking about an all day event, that means not only do I have to be there all day, but I have to be there 2 hours early, and then I'm gonna be there 2 hours past the event. Right. So if you got an event that's going to 1, you got to think I'm not gonna leave till 3 o'clock, and if it starts at 12, then I got to be there 9:30, 10 o'clock. So all of that plays.
You think that's what the band's leaders do as well? They account for their choosing prices?
I would think that they would account for travel time. I think they probably would account for how long the show is, probably. And like I said, I don't know if they care how big the venue is. I mean, I'm sure if a band member realized, well, I got to play in the Yamali as opposed to I got to play in Fuel Lounge, the sound's going to be different.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got to use more stuff. I'm sure that happens. I mean, I don't know. I've never had to do pricing for a band.
For a band,
and like bands, I think that when they set their prices, I think they take all of that into consideration before they even give you a price. Like if Chris, he in Houston a lot. So I'm sure if somebody called him, I think his price probably already reflects, him that he come to Houston and all of that.
Gotcha.
Nate and them, I think they probably
already
in their price they
that.
already account for that.
Gotcha.
And like anything extra that they have to provide, or if they ask you, then they probably make adjustments accordingly.
But you said you did everything when you was playing with Power. You also was the bodyguard.
Yeah.
So what do you
didn't get
think?
paid for that though. But yeah.
I never forget seeing you escort women off the stage. I never forget those times.
didn't
But
get
or
paid
either
for that.
sometimes you have an attitude and you just be sitting there like they asked him to come up here, so I
Yeah.
ain't moving. But
And the funny thing about that is, it wasn't so much as bodyguarding. Like I'm not. It's kind of protecting the band, but it's not really just that.
Yeah.
My thing is this: when you walk on the bandstands, like
it's stupid.
there's first of all, if you're not in the show, you don't need to be on the bandstand. Secondly, what used to kill me, and I know you probably could agree, is he trying to play a song and somebody up there talking to him during the song. Let the man at least finish the song before you start asking questions or trying to tell him, because first of all, he can't hear you anyway. There's so much noise he can't hear you. But my thing is, you want to get on stage and you stepping on stuff. Stepping on stuff. This equipment, all of this stuff works together. If you unplug something, something goes away. So my thing is, no, because you see people when they walk up there, they just walk over stuff. It's not like they don't try to step over a cord. They just walk across it. Like, no, don't
What
do
are you
that.
doing?
What are you doing? First of all, like I say, first of all, he's trying to play. You shouldn't have nothing. There's nothing you should be saying to him while he's trying to play. Then you want to stand up there and hold a conversation while he's trying to play a song. He can't even sing because you're trying to play a song.
And I don't know if it's the Yamali, but we were backstage, whatever. But it was a guy standing there with his alcohol, standing there next to Paul. I'm like, what is he doing?
Like, want to be seen. I call that they want to
That is so
be. They want to be
stupid to
seen.
me. This
Like,
man is at work.
you're not the performer.
You're not the performer.
Why
We
do
don't
you
want to see
need
you.
to be seen?
Yes, we
You don't need to be on stage. If you want to be seen, go stand in a chair and something.
It's a whole bunch you can do to be seen.
And like I said, and then like the other thing, it's just a liability. It's the stuff
definitely
that you
a liability,
the
yeah.
damage you can cause by being up on the stage, not knowing, not being careful, not caring. I mean,
Or
I've
not
seen
even
people
just realizing how much that equipment costs. As soon as you say, dude,
Knocking
you got to
over.
pay I don't know, $2,500 for that, then I ain't paying for that.
There's people that come over that used to like Paul. He got his little accordion stand there. They
Yes.
leaning on that,
Yeah.
knocking over drinks.
Yeah.
You don't realize the liability that is. So my thing was, don't come on now, just get off the stage. And then I'm telling you mad. What Paul said.
Or anybody say.
And my thing was this: Paul is a performer. This is my stage. I used to tell, this is my stage. Why? Why do I say it's my stage? Because I'm responsible for all of this equipment. No, it's not mine per se. I don't own it, but I'm responsible for it. If something breaks, they're gonna look at me. Hey, that's broke. I need to fix it. Or even if they pay for it to get fixed, it's still me.
Yeah.
So this is my stage. Don't get on my stage. Then it got to the point to where I would see John might call somebody up there. Paul might call somebody up there.
Do other bands that you play with have done that?
No.
Oh.
I don't.
I was trying to help out.
No, I mean, he's
just nice.
He would,
probably. He's just a nice guy.
Yeah, I guess that's just his personality. He wants to be able to talk to people and want to, but not realizing that
Things
people that are the other people are like, why they up there? And then you got other people that they can go up there and I go up there. So now, as soon as one person leave, another person go up there, and another person go up there. Now people standing up there.
I also don't understand how the hell they sit by those speakers. As loud as them speakers are, how do you sit on the speakers? And first of all, why? Because we all at the show, so we want to all see.
Yeah.
So why y'all all them chairs out there? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get it.
After Chris got shot, I mean, it was weird. I know he has some things going on too. How do you feel? Do you feel fearful at all since that happened? Because you're there after everybody else is packed up. You still there.
It makes you more aware of things. Every time even though it was him, we were all there.
Yeah.
It could have been any of us. So it makes you aware. It makes you start noticing things. It makes you look around. It makes you wonder. It gets you in the mind frame, but sometimes you have to block it out because it'll deter
freak
you.
Out.
It'll deter you from doing your job right or performing right. So you kind of gotta put it in the back of your head, but you can't never really let it go.
Yeah.
Because even though, like saying, we don't know for sure, but we assume that it wasn't directed at him.
Right.
We assume that it wasn't.
Right.
But it could have been.
Yeah, right.
Or it could have been directed at one of the other ones, and it just so happened to hit him. I mean, not saying that that's what happened, because like we all assumed that it was an accidental, and it was just an incident that happened. It wasn't directed at him, which I hope that it's not, because I hope don't nobody dislike him that much to where they would shoot him on stage. You know what I'm saying? Or any of us. You know what I'm saying? So even though we assume it wasn't really directed as it was just happened, it still makes you aware. Yeah. Like we go to these trail rides and we at these outside events. I find myself always looking at people like, and then everybody is suspicious now.
And you've always been an observant person too, and that's probably double.
Yeah, it's even double. I mean, like I say, and you still can't really know because they telling me, like I've talked to some security guys. It's women packing guns in their purses and stuff.
And their chests, too.
And their chests and knives and their boots and all of this stuff.
This is so another off-topic thing. When I'm working at the door, I hate it when women go in their bra and pull out me a wet. It be wet. Why you want to give me that money out of your food? Anyway, that was so off. But when you said that about the women carrying the gun inside, it made me think about, can y'all not give me wet money out your bra?
It just makes you be more aware.
Yeah. So
you want to take precautions, but it's home. I mean, other than they hiring security and they patting people down at the door,
metal detectors.
Yeah.
I just think people need to, and you know what, I guess I was a little naive to things because of course I was always saying more security. The what do you call the things? The metal detector, all that. I think we do need to. I do think there needs to be actual real policemen, and I give kudos to Chris for not doing a show, right? Because he wanted police officers, actually, because that's what we need. Because what I find, no offense to anybody's gonna take, if you take offense to it, it is what it is. The security people that's y'all friends, they ain't the ones you need to be hiring because they not paying attention. They waving and chilling with the women, and that ain't what you need. You need somebody that's gonna actually be protecting your people. And if you use the money towards security, more people will come to your show, especially nowadays because people are so scared. But what I was going to say was that I had to rethink things. I was thinking about this today when I said I was going to ask you about it with the school shooting. It made me think, wow, this is, we can't keep saying that it's, the trail ride, even though it's a big deal. But now they do it at schools. Today somebody got shot at, it's a college, Xavier College. It was a high school graduation. And an elderly woman was shot and killed. Like, it's everywhere.
You're trying to figure out, I know it's an industry, I know it's a business, but why is it that you can walk in a store or a pawn shop and buy an assault weapon?
Yeah.
Why? I mean, for what? Who that's not at war needs an assault weapon? I mean, protection, a pistol, that's fine. But you go an AK-47 and shoot 300 rounds? What individual needs that kind of power? That kind of firepower.
And why would you sell it to somebody?
That's what I'm saying. Why can't we even go in? So you can
pawn
shop. Why can't you even go to the store? I mean, I don't care if you're 18, if you're 21, if you're 35, if you're 58.
You don't need that power.
Who needs a 300-round assault rifle? Who are you at war with? I mean,
because even policemen can't defend themselves.
Exactly. A policeman come in with bulletproof vests and they got a pistol holding 16 rounds, and the person shooting at them got an assault rifle that shoot 300. After you 16, you done. Well, I mean, you got clips, but come on now. You got one gun, with semi-automatic that can fire up to 300 rounds in seconds.
Crazy.
Who needs a gun like that?
Wow.
Why would I, right now, I stay in an apartment, go and buy an assault rifle? For who? Because, first of all, if I own an assault rifle and I'm using it for protection, I'm not going to be sitting on the couch with it. So if you break in, I got to go get it.
You got to go get it.
If I got my pistol, it's right here on the table. If you come in, that's your ass.
Yeah.
For an assault rifle, I got to go get it. So who needs that? I mean, it's funny, but who needs that?
You're going to settle down and have an actual platonic relationship?
You mean again?
Okay, whatever. That was a long time ago. That was a million years. So now that you're, you aging gracefully, but
well, I mean, it don't have nothing to do with my age, but I probably will.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against it. It's just like, here's the thing. A few of the people that I dated like last, including you. When the relationship started, it wasn't. Yeah, I know you don't want to hear it, but it's the truth. It wasn't set as a girlfriend boyfriend type thing. When I started, and a few people that I've dated, it was never. Well, yeah, I want you to be my gal. I want you to be my man. It was like
People don't even say that anymore, Kiki.
Listen. That's not something that
so
just goes.
People gonna see you and say, "Will you be my girlfriend? Will you be my boyfriend?" People don't do that.
You're right.
Okay.
People don't say that no more.
Okay.
But in mine, I specifically said, "Look, I'm not trying to have no girlfriend." I specifically say that in the beginning. I'm not trying to have no girlfriend.
No, let me not say that's true. Let me not say this. I'm gonna say that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I specifically say I'm not trying to have no girlfriend. If I don't say that and we start talking, then you can tell the vibe between the two of us or what it's trying to be. But if I specifically said that's not what I'm going, then to me, if that's the way it starts, that's the way it ends.
Gotcha.
I know everybody always say, well, you develop feelings.
Don't make no sense.
You develop feelings and things change.
You do.
Not for me. Not saying that I don't develop feelings, not saying that I don't start caring about the person or may even have love for that person. If it started off as we just kicking it, that's all it's gonna be. It don't matter if it lasts 2 years, 30 days,
7 years.
7 years. It don't matter if it lasts 2 months.
I just want to make sure you're gonna be all right. But I do, and I will say, because I always tell you that you gotta have somebody that's gonna take care of you in your old age when you get old.
2 daughters.
Well, I know that, but they can't live with you. They might have their own husband, man, or whatever.
That's true.
So all I'm saying, and you don't like me to say it, but I think that there are people.
But think about this. That's all good. You have somebody on your side that's got your back. What if they die first?
Okay.
I mean, that it could happen. Some men are living longer than some women.
Are.
So it's happening.
Well, you like 10-year-olds though.
I'm not.
So they gon'
But guess what? This boy was 18. And he killed up a bunch of 18-year-olds. So it don't matter how old you are. You can still die. People are dying from COVID.
Right.
People are dying from diseases. So the reason why I say that is I'm not gonna get somebody for the main purpose of thinking, well, in the back of my mind, I need somebody to take care of me.
No, I don't think that. I'm just saying to you that at this, and you don't like to talk about age, but it just is what it is. Even me, I'm 52.
It would be
I need a man that's going to be my companion and hang out and be there. Yeah. You need companionship?
Okay. And if the right person come along.
What do you think about, when I met you, I said, I don't want to be up there with them people. I don't want nobody thinking I'm no groupie. What do you think? Do you think there's a real such thing as groupies? And do you know how to deter the difference? Not deter. Did I say that right?
You know what?
Do you have to decipher?
Excuse me. I honestly can't say I do know what to do because I've never had a groupie. At least I don't know.
You absolutely have.
I don't know that I've had a groupie.
Are you kidding me?
So, everybody definition of what a groupie is probably different.
Okay.
Like, because I know a lot of people, and a lot of people know me. There are some people that know me that I don't even know, but I.
Oh yeah.
So, but
you have fans.
I don't
and
know
you
that
have
I do.
groupies.
I don't know that I personally have any fans. I don't know that I personally have any groupies. I mean, because I think of it like this. Mm-hmm. For me, if I have a groupie that's just, she just love her some Kiki, it's gonna be known to me. She's gonna do stuff for me. I mean, like if we at the shows or something, I'm gonna have
men are blind.
I'm gonna have if we at Prospect Park and they know I eat wings, that group is gonna make sure I get my wings.
Okay.
And I drink the Skittles, that groupie is gonna make sure I have that. Yeah. In my opinion, that's what groupies do. They want to be a part. They want to be a part of your life. They want to be a part of that.
But
scene.
They don't necessarily like. In my opinion, a groupie doesn't necessarily like you. They want to be a part of the scene. They want to be a part of something. Is what I see as a groupie.
Okay.
They want to be seen with you.
And right? That's why I say I don't have any, because they want to be seen with the band.
But you a part of the band. I
am a part of the band, but I'm not on stage.
Yeah, but they don't care about that. You are part of a band, and that's what they are looking for. They want to be in that. That's why I tell you, when I tell you people call you, what Boy, they know how to get to that event. Why are they calling you? They calling you so they can be in the know, right?
Well, yeah, I guess that too. Or they trying.
So
to see if they can get in free.
that is a groupie.
Oh.
That is a groupie.
Wow.
So, but what I was gonna say was that I think men sometimes are blind, especially in the music industry, because I think sincerely y'all really think sometimes these women are not trying to get with y'all. I really do. I'll give you that. But and so when you have a female woman friend, whatever the hell you have, that sees that, y'all think they crazy. But we see things that you may not see.
No, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
And it's somebody's like laughing at something, but it's not so much as we don't see it. It's like
Don't say that, because then that's a whole nother issue.
No, I'm not saying we don't. Okay, but I'm gonna say me.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say we.
Okay.
I don't see it like that for the simple reason. Just like I said, I don't have no groupies. Mm-hmm. I know there's a lot of women that they'll come talk to me, but most women that come talk to me, they come to me because they can't get to nobody else. Is in my opinion. They come to me like somebody want to get with Chris. They know they can't really get with Chris, so they'll come to me because, like you say, that's their
the connection.
That's their end. You know, they might tell me, "Ooh, Chris, this," or "Ooh, Javik, that," or "Ooh, this," hoping that I'll relay that message. Mm-hmm. But people don't really come to me like, "Ooh, Sam, man." No, they don't. So that's why I say,
they do.
No, that's why I say I don't have groupies, because I don't get a lot of people that come because, man, I can tell you
You
some
are
stories.
underestimating yourself.
I can tell you some stories about the people that have come to me about some of
I can imagine that.
I can tell you some stories about some stuff that they say, things that they ask for. But then...
But
like,
do you sincerely think that there are not women that they be all up in your little sound stage stuff?
Like I said, they are trying to get a way in. Not necessarily me, they just in. Because like they see me, a lot of people, sometimes I go, if they don't know me, if they don't know that I just do sound, if they don't know that, they don't even see me.
You think they don't?
Like, they don't see me. And I be standing out there with, like now.
He don't be seeing.
I be standing out there like now with the iPad, and people like, oh, what you doing?
Something. Yeah.
So that's what
But they see you come in with equipment. They see you doing stuff.
A lot of times they don't, because I'm there so early, nobody's there.
Oh.
So when I'm there setting up, like now, of course, like prospects stuff, like people are there already. Mm-hmm. But like before, if I was I'm there so early, I'm there before the fans. So they don't see me. They don't see the work that I put in to do. If people come in and like people that speak, give me a hug. Ooh, you sweaty. Why are you so sweaty? I've been working. See, y'all just got here. You know, it's 5 o'clock, 5:30. Y'all just got it. I've been here since 3 working in the sun. Yeah. So that's why I say they don't really see me. And then like now, you know, people are so big on the look of stuff. Look at me when I'm working. How am I dressed? I'm so down dressed that you see me and you go, ooh.
Oh, do y'all see what shirt he have on?
Of course.
So
Everybody knows.
Yeah.
Everybody know. If you know me, you know this.
Whatever.
But yeah, I mean, but you don't see me this when I'm working.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna wear this comfortable. I send this to the cleaners. I'm not gonna wear this to go get sweaty, you know, and get dirty. You know, when I'm working, I'm in work mode. So that's why I say, women, they might see me, but they don't see me.
I'm gonna let you make it with that, because that ain't true.
Well.
And you may not have no groupies, but you got them that be trying. And do you know what I will say this? Now tell me, I don't know if you agree with this, but I've heard other men say. I heard what's the man, Jermaine Dupri. He was on the documentary with Janet Jackson, and what he said was he did cheat. That's why they ended up breaking up. But he said, you know why I cheated? Because when they saw me with Janet, shoot, then they were trying to come to me, and I just messed up. Because when women see you with someone and see the good things that you're doing, they will try to come in
I and
do stuff. So you do agree with that?
Yeah, I do. But that's people, period. Because people don't want something that somebody else don't want. And I tell, like, you know, like guys, you know, you see guys that get mad, nigga, why you eyeballing my woman, or why you, bro? First of all, if you have somebody that don't nobody else want, you don't have nothing.
You can't be looking at that woman now.
Why you can't look? Your eyes, you got your own 2 eyes and look at whatever you want to look at.
It's disrespectful.
How is it disrespectful for
Well,
the
maybe
look?
then I understand why you would be mad if I see somebody just staring. Why are you staring over here?
Well, I mean, it don't
That
hurt
is
to look.
disrespectful. So
To
disrespectful.
look at somebody made it disrespectful.
If you're literally staring at somebody, you know they have a girlfriend or a wife or something. That's disrespectful.
Like I said, you have to be able to know.
Or a friend.
You have to be able to know the intent in that look, because sometimes, you know.
Well, I know you stare. I know you.
Sometimes people look at something, and they might look at somebody for a minute and notice something, but they might be thinking about something totally different.
I get that.
So you can't always just that's why I said. But yeah, I know sometimes they be like, yeah, I could do, and even if that's what they thinking, so what? That's all they're doing is thinking it. Now, when you start acting, when that person starts acting on that look that they giving, then see, now you done crossed a different line. But just sitting back checking you out, even if they like, okay. I mean, it's flattering, but if somebody doing that to me and I'm just standing there looking like, that's nothing. Now, if they doing that and I start that way, see, then man, you got a problem, because that possibly could lead into something.
So that person staring at you, she giving you googly eyes, and in my eyes they be like, I like you, I think you cute, whatever. And even though you say you just do sound, they be watching. So when the person that you seeing ain't there, then y'all come by to connect, because then she gonna come over to you.
Okay, but
that's what starts it all. The look, the stare.
But and all of that happens, all of that happens from the person receiving. Like, you can send me out all kind of vibes, all kind of googly eyes, all blowing kisses and saying I want to do whatever. You can send all that out. But until I respond to it, that's just that. It is just that. Now, yeah, you may say, well, when I ain't there, like say if you like you used to say, well, I ain't there, who knows what you doing? You're right. Who knows what I be doing? But still, it's still on me. If you come back the next time or whatever, or you show up someplace that I didn't think you was coming, and that person that you saw yesterday, I got them all up under me, see, then you know I responded. But if you come back and that person is still there, but they still over there and I'm still over here, you have nothing to worry about.
So in other words, you would have enjoyed it more had you guys been able to collaborate and work together on learning the instruments.
It would have been better.
That would have been better.
It would have been better.
You guys probably would not have clashed
We wouldn't have clashed so much, because like I said, the stuff, I thought I knew so much, he thought he knew so much. Now, like
and y'all both probably do a little bit of everything, and had y'all put it
everything
together.
That he say, I'm not saying he was always wrong. I'm not saying that I was always right, or vice versa.
Well, you think you're always right, but go ahead.
But the thing is, if you're on stage and I'm out here, you've never worked with this system that we just bought. I'm working with it every show. So you can't just tell me how to do something if you haven't done it. You don't know if that's gonna work. If somebody told you, well, you need to take the 2K out, you can't just come tell me, well, take the 2K out, that's gonna work. Because first of all, they're not there. So you don't know what that is. And so we used to go back and forth.
Y'all went back and forth, but at the end of the day, because I don't want us to have a show to where we're talking total negative about y'all. Because y'all both have a love-hate relationship. Y'all both were very good for each other. You did a lot for him. I know that because I was there.
Yeah,
and I think that he did respect a lot of things about you. You're being on time.
Yeah.
He knew you were on time, and he respected that. I think that when it came to the sound issues, and sometimes you know you can be bullheaded. He's bullheaded, and so y'all clash. But I think that both of y'all still have a mad respect for each other, and y'all cool. Unfortunately, I hate that you're not part of New Breed. I'm just saying.
I don't have. It's no bad blood between us.
No
if
bad
Paul
blood.
called me today and I was not working and he needed me to go help him do sound, I would go. Because it was just that. And like I said, we clashed a lot, but it was we didn't like fight.
Brothers and
it
brothers, cousins.
It wasn't he mad at me and I'm mad at him and we cursing each other. It was never that.
And that's what I want to make sure that we
had disagreements.
I just want to make sure that we clarify that there were disagreements.
Yeah, it's always disagreements.
And again, for me, the biggest thing for me was, and it wasn't just the band. It was several people that made me feel awful because they didn't see the work that you were putting in. I saw it. I watched you do these things, and to sit here, I have to sit there and guys, you have to think about that too. I would tell parents that at at track meets and stuff like that, that you don't know who's sitting around you when you're talking about somebody and what they're doing. Their girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, children could be there, best friends in there, and they have to hear you talking shit about something. And I know what you did. I know the work you put in outside of being in the band, and that's what used to bother me. That you've heard about yourself that you would like to clarify that may or may not be true.
That's a whole nother show. You trying to tell me we need to cut it short? That's a whole nother show. Because the first thing that I will say that has been said so many times, not so much lately, I haven't heard it, is that I was gay. I am not. Never have been, never will be. So all of y'all, you say that high voice, whatever your reason for thinking that is, you have your reasons for thinking that, but that is not true. That's so far from the truth.
You heard it right here on Chat with
so far from the truth. But I mean, I heard that even way before I got in the band, people used to say that. And I mean, okay, so I don't have no deep voice. That don't make you gay because you have a deep voice.
Nah. We have nothing against people who
are.
I mean,
like I say, if you are, that's cool. That's you. But we talked about me. So I'm not dissing nobody. I'm just saying you asked me the one thing, and that's the one thing that I have heard for a long time. I haven't heard it so much lately, but it was one of the things that people were saying that wasn't true. And like I say, it's so funny because it was a chick one time that came to me and was saying that this guy was telling people over there that I was gay. It was some chick that wanted to talk to me or whatever. And he was, that nigga gay. You don't fool him. And somebody that I knew that I had heard him. So she came and told me that he was saying that. And then, so I didn't say nothing. It's just, Did you know
the guy?
Yeah, I knew him. I walked in on the conversation later, but I did it on purpose. I walked in the conversation he was having with these women, and I started flirting with one of the girls, and because I knew how she was gonna respond to me, and she responded oh, this, that, and that, and it actually ended up going home with you. But that same dude that was telling them that I was gay, man, when I grow up, I want to be just like you.
Of course.
So I looked him right in my eyes and said, oh, so you want to be gay? He was like, hey, well, dog, what you mean? I was just 20 minutes ago, you was telling these same chicks that I was gay. But now that I'm here, you saying when you grow up, you want to be like me. So if you think that I'm gay and you want to be like me when you grow up, then that means you want to be gay, right? You want to laugh it off no, I was just yeah, whatever. Today, that person, I don't fool with him no more. You know who you are, bro. But I don't think so. People say
that's
stuff.
the quickest thing for people to say.
People always say, that's just, people always say they always have this and they always have that. Well, like I say, for a long time, things that people said about me bothered me. But then as I grew older and I started learning and listening to my daddy, people, just like they said, you in good company, girl. I said, why you say that? Well, because they talked about Jesus. And when you think about that statement, that is so true that if you think about that and you get that in your head, you'll never worry about nothing else.
I wish my mama tell me that all the time. It still bothers me.
I mean, of course.
I will say this in being in any type of industry.
People say hurtful things that can get at you at time, but like I say, you'll be upset.
But you've mastered to where you don't show it. Because I think that's the problem is when you show it and you let people know your weakness.
It gets worse.
It gets worse.
The more it got worse. The more you let the people know that it bother you, the more they're going to do it.
You used to say that about other stuff that we talk about. If someone is jigging at your girl by flirting with you, you can nip it in the bud and with nothing. Now they're not gonna pick on your girl no more. They're not gonna do that no more because you're not gonna allow it. But if you allow them to sit on the shoulder of sit next to you, up close to you, like they with you, if you allow them to do those things and you don't say any, I guess my point is you can nip it in the bud right then. You can nip it in the bud and be look. Don't do that because my girl, my friend, whatever the person is to you, nip it in the bud like that.
I agree. You can. The person that's being flirted with or that they're using to pick at somebody else can always put a stop to it.
I appreciate that.
Don't do that, bro.
Growth. Okay, so I just want to say that Mom and I are grateful for all the assistance that you've given us with planning the cruises. Did you enjoy the cruising?
Great.
Yes.
Man, that's a ball.
And
I would go on the one that y'all got trying to get together now if I was off.
Yeah.
If Chris decides to do another one, I'm the first one on that boat.
So what I'm going to say is I want to clarify that up. We had an incident, so Kiki helps us sometimes with things. So what I want to say is Kiki has not gotten anyone removed from anybody's cruise. All Kiki can do was say, this is what I think, this is what I don't think, right? And we make the decision. My mom owns Dreamtime Travel. So Kiki does not get people, that's not even his thing to try to get somebody fired, get somebody whatever. But he is going to make sure that we get a fair deal. Right?
Exactly.
That's what he does. He didn't say don't hire so-and-so, put so-and-so off. But what he did is he talked to my mom to help her understand different things. I put my 2 or 3 cents in because I look at money. I'm not a dummy. I know some people think I look at them, but I'm not a dummy. I got a whole master's degree. And that don't make me smart, I know, but it make me know something. And I know how to put numbers together to know what we can afford. And if we can't afford something, that's what causes us to have to say, hey, we can't do that because that's over our budget. Okay, so Kiki did not get anybody removed from anything, anywhere, whatever.
Nope, wasn't me. It wasn't even that.
So I just want to get that straight. That was the one that I wanted to clarify. Why do you think some Zydeco bands do not want to participate in this very fun event, especially when it's like a vacation for them and their band members? They only play 2 to 3 hours the entire weekend. I received several phone calls about doing the trail ride at sea, especially after Nate's trip just came out. But let me plug our cruise. We've been playing a cruise too. We just can't get things happening, contracts, stuff like that. But we did have a cruise that we already been working on. And once they sign the contract, y'all know who y'all are. Once y'all sign the contract and send it back, we can go and put the cruise out. But tell me, why you think? What's the problem? What's what?
Well, that's a good question. I kind of would like to know the answer myself.
Okay.
Because I mean, as far as I know, like the last cruise we did when we went, everybody enjoyed themselves. Now, if anybody is saying they don't want to go back or they don't want to go on another cruise, I don't know. I would have to, whoever it is, I would have to ask them, well, what happened? Or why do you think why would you not want to go? I would have to ask them. I can't really answer because I had a blast.
Right.
I mean,
everybody got paid.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm not the entertainer. You know, I just do sound. I just do sound. That's my job. I just do sound. So if whoever I'm working for said we're going on a cruise,
we going.
I'm going.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have fun. Regardless, I'm going to have fun.
Yeah.
Now, with the last one we did, I don't know if anybody didn't have fun or if there were any grievances that anyone may have said or displayed to anybody else. Unless I hear them, I don't know.
Wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know what it was. Nobody told me anything. I mean, I didn't hear nothing. You know,
I heard nothing but good things. I mean, we had a few little incidents with some crazy people,
there
but
were
you know,
some
it's never done.
And some mishaps or something may have happened or something didn't go as planned or as expected. But
that's
for
business.
the old part that I know, we had a blast.
And I'll say this.
Me, Paul, Chris, I was still working for Paul then, but I did sound for both bands.
Yeah.
You know,
and it was a blast. Everybody had a good time. We had a great turnout.
As far as I know, we had a blast.
Okay, well, I thought I'd ask you that. I will say this to anybody that's listening or get messages back, however, whatever, that the sad part about us not doing it again, what it was that it put us in a position because we were asked by one of the artists that we had asked to be on our show, a big artist. And they said, well, if you did the right thing, if you did the right thing and your cruise went well, why didn't they want to go back? And that's a valid question. And that's what makes us look bad. It's like, that's why we're always saying, we paid everybody. So, but when we do a cruise and it's super successful, their question is, well, if it was that successful, why? Because we had the opportunity to take this particular person who's going to do this cruise soon. And that was what, and they, valid, this is somebody I respect. And they said that to us. Well, if it went that well, why didn't they go back? Why wasn't there part 2?
And see, that's a question that you would have to ask the person that don't want to go back.
Right.
Because,
but it makes us as a business look bad.
Yeah, and that's just like I said, that's the same thing with me doing sound. People, you know, they don't say when they see me doing sound for whoever, that Kiki had Chris sound jacked up, Chris had Paul sound jacked up. that's reflection on me. But what you don't understand, what they don't understand is you don't know exactly what I'm trying to get. You don't know what Chris told me he wanted to hear. You don't know what Paul specified he wanted to hear, because there are some artists that, I mean, I'm not saying it's Chris or Paul. I'm just saying there are artists that when they have a sound person, they direct them to do certain things. Look, I'm not worried about the guitar, or I'm not worried about this. You make sure my vocals is clear, you make sure my accordion is clear, or you make sure the kick clear, you make sure the snare is clear. Everything else just blend in. So by somebody coming running to me telling me, well, I can't hear this, I can't hear it, and you trying to go run and tell Chris or run and tell Paul or whoever I'm working for at the time, whether it's Nate, Keith, or whoever it is that I'm doing sound for, you can't just assume. Like I said, first of all, these people in the audience, you're not sound people, from what I know. Now, there have been times when I've been doing a show and actual sound people came and gave me advice. They don't say,
it's hard.
I can't hear this, or I can't hear that. They'll come and ask me, well, what are you trying to do? You look like you struggle. They'll ask me, well, what are you trying to do? And I say, well, right now I'm working on the guitar. And they may give me some pointers as well. If you do this, you could probably get that out of that.
Yeah.
And then they say, and if they ask me, well, the accordion is not pretty clear, what are you doing? And then I'll tell them, well, I'm not working on that right now. I'm doing this. So a sound person that'll come and talk to me, I'm going to listen to whatever they're saying, because they know. But somebody just in the audience that wanted to hear Chris sing a certain part of the song and they didn't hear it because they were standing way back there. You can't come tell me, well, I can't hear Chris' vocal. You can't tell me that. Yeah. Because, like I say, you don't know what I'm trying to do. You don't know what I'm trying to get. You don't know the goal I'm trying to reach. Yeah.
Now, but you don't mind if somebody comes to you and be
I don't
like,
mind if you legitimately saying,
yeah,
I don't mind you saying it. If I still have that tablet in my hand and I'm still doing something, that means I'm not done. It's simple. I'm not done. Now, if you see me out there and then with Chris, I close the tablet and I might put it down. I might walk up there and set it down. Then I'm done. And then even when I'm done, I still walk back out every now and then to try to see, because different songs, different things happen. Chris might sing harder on this one, or the keyboard might play louder on this one. They might have a solo and he might hit a little button and turn it up louder. So it's going to be louder at times. That's why, even like, sometimes I get comfortable. Like if I've got tired, I might sit down and don't get back up. But like with Chris is a sound person, pretty much. He's an engineer. He got a whole studio. He knows sound. I've learned like the stuff I learned with Paul, working with Paul, how to do a lot of stuff. I learned I know what he was saying and what was right and what was wrong. But with Chris, the difference is he knows it. Like he's like knows it. Like he can say that sound like that's the low end right there. Take some of that out. And we had, like, most of the time we're doing it, he has a tablet with the same board that I have. If I miss something, sometimes he'll just go right to it and just fix it because he knows straight to it. Or sometimes if he's singing, he'll come and tell me, hey, look, do this. And then when I go back out there, I do it. So I'm steady learning from him because he knows the technical stuff. Right. Paul has a good ear for stuff. If trust me, if it's something that sounds wrong, Paul gonna know it. Yeah. Now, whether or not he gonna know exactly how to fix it, he may not. But if I tell you, he can hear. He be hearing stuff that nobody else in the band be hearing. But they like, because I used to ask, did you hear that? Man, I don't know what Paul talking about. So I have to go back and specifically listen. But like Chris can tell you what it is. Like, I mean, like he's the actual sound guy. And like I said, and I learned that because I had a little, like when I first started with the QSC, it's where you can record live. And I could I bring it home and I dumped it onto a Pro Tools mix to where I could actually do it like I was in the studio. That right there, I have a lot of words to talk about. We ain't even finished everything. I told her this would need to be a 2-part. This has got to be a 2-part.
We'll have to do another one because I didn't get because
she got some stuff wrote down and she didn't even ask you that I didn't answer.
Yeah, because we were supposed to get to the part about, we were supposed to get to some other stuff I didn't write down that I didn't get.
Like what other stuff?
It's stuff that I need to ask that people want to know about you.
What people want to know? I don't know.
Well, since you claim you don't have no groupies.
I don't. Look,
you have groupies.
Groupies, y'all let me know if y'all out there. Because I don't know I have. She said I got groupies. I don't think so. She said I got fans. I don't think so. So
Let that be the reason.
let
But anyway,
me know.
y'all, we gonna let y'all go
Hey,
to bed.
I'm a friendly person. I talk to everybody. So if you agree and you think that I want to talk, I talk. You may not like what I say, but
there you
talk.
go. Okay.
You may not like.
You
some
got to be
things I
careful what's
say.
gonna come out this mouth. That's the problem.
Put it this way: don't ask a question you don't want to know the actual answer to.
But Click Spacer, you are cool. You cool for the most part. You got your days. You really do. You really do.
Well, I mean, everybody.
You got more days than Eric.
I have more good days than bad. I'm not. Everybody got that button.
Okay.
You got one too. I could push your button, and you could be not the Miss Trina that everybody knows. I've seen it.
You have?
Not with me, but I've seen it.
At the fast food joints?
I've seen it. I've seen it, y'all. I have seen it. So everybody got a button that can be pushed. Some people are just quicker tempered than others. I mean, like I say, that's just like saying when me and Paul used to go back and forth. It wasn't because
we're gonna
we
get you
was
some
mad.
therapy.
I don't need no therapy.
We're gonna get you some therapy about it. I think you need to lay on the couch and talk about this.
Talk about what?
You and Paul.
No, me and Paul good.
I know, but I don't know. I'm concerned about you.
What about me?
I don't know. I think you need to sit down and talk to somebody. But anyway, yeah, we go because I'm starving. I have had no dinner.
I had already eaten.
Oh, so you really not gonna make me nothing to eat? You really
the,
wasn't gonna do no tuna?
I'm the guest. You supposed to bring when you have a
He
show.
makes the best tuna fish.
When you have a show, Keys, don't comment on that, Keys. We know you know. But
No,
when
don't
you
what?
hit about the tuna.
Oh.
When you have a show and stuff, like we go to places, we have hospitality rooms. We don't bring the stuff there.
Okay, so y'all, we're gonna go because he's not gonna feed me.
I ain't no money.
Good night. Thank
I
y'all
got
for
some
making the
chips in
choice to click in and chat with Trina. Make sure y'all go to youtube.com/chat with Trina. Hit subscribe. Please hit subscribe. I need 500 more subscribers by next December. And it's easy to do. You just have to go on youtube.com/chat with Trina. Hit subscribe. Also hit the little bell so you can be notified when I upload a new video. See y'all later. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for Talk About It Tuesday on Chat with Trina with Mr. Kiki G. Kiki, thank you so much for joining me, agreeing to join me rather, and being so super, God, I don't know what word, exciting, and you were very enthusiastic, and that's always makes a good show. Thank you for opening up. Thanks for opening up, being honest, and being your true, authentic self. That is just something that I really like on Chat with Trina. Now, y'all, thank y'all for making the choice to click in tonight. But when you're finished, make sure you go and subscribe and then hit that little bell so you can be notified when I upload a new video. Good night.